Okay, this is some cookies that I've been eating for dessert, and they're family digestives, and they're going in the recycling bin. Okay, I just wanted to do a little video for you about the nature of family. Okay, so if you're going to do something with your family, you usually think it's like your nuclear family, mom, dad, and the children. Extended family, everyone knows all this stuff, grandparents and cousins and aunts and uncles. But what about this plant? Is this your family? This tree, is this tree your family? Or those trees back there? Anything back there? Is this chair your family? Are the people in you name a country part of your family? Uh, are humanoids on another planet, another star system your family? What if they're not humanoids? What if they look like, um, I don't know, what if they look like octopuses from another star system, like in The Simpsons? Are those, if you ever watched The Simpsons, the aliens on The Simpsons, what if they looked like that? Are those your family? Okay, well, what is your family? Tonight's topic is brought to you by Sippy Cup and Sip Happens. Also, shit happens. And a lot of the shit that happens comes because people don't consider other humans on the planet to be their family. Why not? Incredibly stupid. Incredibly stupid human beings. I mean, you can go to DNA work where they say that they found a common ancestor for all humans on the planet on the mother side and a separate one on the father side. You can go look at it, and what does it prove? It means that we're all descended from a common mother and a common father. It wasn't Adam and Eve according to science. They were totally different. How did that happen? I don't know. It's too complicated. I never read all the studies. I just got, sort of the summary. If you're really interested, go dig in on your Google and figure it out. The whole point of the matter is, according to science, these plants have all got DNA. The dog you heard bark has got DNA. Now, does the chair have DNA? I don't think so. How about this thermometer? Does it have DNA? Okay, why am I going with this? Because things that are in your family, I mean, what about the aliens on The Simpsons? Do you think they have DNA? This is very difficult to get across to all of you out there in video land. The simple fact is that DNA is kind of a manifestation of consciousness. What came first? I tell you all the time on these channels, not that much, but once in a while I do mention it. Consciousness comes first. And what you see here, up there, even that stuff up in the sky, the sun and the cloud, and the tree and the house, they're manifestations of consciousness. It's not the other way around, which is the way some people really get it. They say, well, what came first? Dead matter or the consciousness of the human brain. And dumb people say, to this day, dumb dead matter came first because that's how we evolved, out of dumb dead matter. It's unbelievably illogical, because how does dumb dead matter evolve into something that's as incredibly conscious as a human. Oh, evolution. No, it doesn't explain it at all. If you're going to use basic science, um, you got to look at Newton's laws of thermodynamics, and I'm going to point you directly at entropy. Entropy is the movement towards disorganization. So how could something like entropy that works apparently on, dead matter evolve stuff into human things? Can't. It can't. You have to go back to the laws of thermodynamics, and I'm pretty sure it was Newton anyway. Entropy, look up entropy and see if it was Newton, one of the laws of thermodynamics. I think I took that in grade 10 physics. So in grade 10, I was 15 years old. It was a long time ago. Anyways, if I'm incorrect, I'm terribly sorry. I'm trying to go from memory. The whole point of it is that everything you've been taught about the nature of what's going on the planet is incorrect. Incorrect. And if your simple logic doesn't understand entropy, which is, heat death, in other words, everything is going to lose organization, lose heat, and just fizzle out. So to get higher consciousnesses like humans, even to get beautiful plants, evolution explains it all. No, it doesn't. How does it happen from dead matter? The best they can come up with is, well, there was dead matter in a watery pool and a lightning strike happened, and lightning striking again. I think that's a Frankie Valli song. It's impossible. It's impossible to put high charges of electricity in and create organization. Oh, they did it in the lab. Oh, sure they did. Sure they did. What happens if they put you under a lightning bolt? You're lucky if you'll survive. Seriously, you're lucky if you'll survive. Most likely you're going to get a nasty, nasty burn, and you might drop dead. So, the idea that somehow unorganized high voltage lightning is going to create something miraculous called amino acids or DNA out of dead. What have you got in that pool? Well, you've got some salt water and some various minerals, trace elements. This is before there was any life, and this is how they say life arose. And then evolution happened ever after that. I'm sorry, at step one, going from dead matter to amino acids, we'll do it in the lab. We'll show it to you. We'll just run a lot of electricity through, just like Frankenstein. It's a big, dirty scam. A dirty, dirty scam. Because if you believe that, then you've fallen for the trap that we live in a physical world. We live in a world of consciousness. And the best I've got from, certain people is that what you see here is physical matter. Well, you have to look at the double-slit experiments in quantum physics to figure out there's nothing to physical matter. There's nothing to it. Which means you had high voltage electricity that was running through a pool of water, salt water, with some trace other minerals, and which is really nothing at all according to quantum physics. There's nothing there. I mean, you have to go and dig deeply into quantum physics to come to that same conclusion. But, maybe try Richard Feynman or something. And I'm not going to guarantee Feynman said it, but some of these physicists have basically said there's nothing to matter. So what are you left with? You're left with consciousness, which means that everything that here appears to us as physical matter and living beings is consciousness, 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 consciousness. And, well, what about what's your family? Your family is nothing to do with consciousness, question mark. Your family is nothing to do with fish and nothing to do with, a chair, an outdoor patio chair. It does. Because everything you see here is, well, it's really stretching it to call it your family, but it's part of your own consciousness that's created everything that's here. I didn't create any of this stuff. Well, maybe they planted some plants in planters. They planted a hedge over there and planted some trees, and someone built a house. I'm not really sure. I mean, there's a bird over there, and there's a cloud covering the sun. The point of the matter is, you didn't create the seeds that were used to grow the flowers here. But some consciousness did. And perhaps that consciousness also worked on developing you. So, what's your family? Well, perhaps you are someone wanted to say a bastard stepchild of some creator god. No, you are actually not exactly a creator god. Not exactly, because most of the time you're not being creative. And even if you are doing what they call co-creating, some science of mind people say you're co-creating, you're not really creating. The best you can do is to be a clear channel for spirit, or basically connect to source fields that are going to do the work. So, why is that? It's because in this world, we are just not developed enough to be granted powers of creation, like instant manifestation. In other words, me going, like I Dream of Jeannie, the old show from, I guess it was the late 1960s, Barbara Eden, where she was a genie. She could snap her fingers and things would manifest and demanifest. Or the same with Bewitched. Elizabeth Montgomery was the witch that could do the same kind of thing. She'd blink her eyes and, magic would happen. We don't do that here because our consciousnesses are not advanced enough to do it. When is it going to be advanced enough? You're going to have to get really tight in with me. Because if you really want to learn manifestation, you're going to have to learn, you got to have a big, hard